Welcome back to Transformers Explained. In today's video, we will discuss one of the most popular comic lines from IDW, which is Transformers Spotlight. Published since 2006, Transformers Spotlight is a semi-ongoing series of one-shot comics published by IDW and set in the 2005 IDW continuity. Each issue focuses on a particular Transformers characters, and today's character is Drift. The first page of this issue begins in a place that looks mysterious and hidden, which looks like a hideout or a place to do an illicit transactions. Someone says, "This will get you in, but only as far as the docking platform," while the person hands over a tool or something. Another person replies, "You've done more than enough. Thank you." Then a woman who previously handed over a tool says, "Thank you? You've paid enough. You've been here long enough to know that thanks are unnecessary." We are shown a mysterious hooded figure. The woman says again, "The cruiser, that belongs to the Cybertronians." The hooded figure replied, "That's right." The woman said again, "Cybertronians docking here. Docking anywhere, it's unheard of." "Decepticons," the hooded figure said. The woman replied, "The cruiser is a Decepticons vessel. It seems they came from the outer reaches. Damaged. And they have prisoners. And it seemed the prisoners were Autobots." The woman added, "I'm not sure what your business is with that ship, but you might want to reconsider. Cybertronians are a plague. Wherever they go, death and destruction follow. Everyone is smart enough to ignore them. Your concern is..." Before the hooded figure could finish her sentence, the woman added again, "It's not concern. I told you, you pay." And when the woman tried to touch the hooded figure's arm, she felt something strange. She said, You are one of them," which meant the hooded figure was a Cybertronian. Before adding suspicion from others, he left and got out of the place. The hooded figure was then in a very magnificent, beautiful, and bright city. We can see the Decepticons cruiser that was discussed earlier. The hooded figure noticed and looked right at the cruiser that was floating. And we are shown the figure behind the hood is none other than Drift. Drift took off his hood and was already on the Decepticons cruiser. He pressed a button and a panel opened. Drift then deactivated the security on the panel and immediately jumped inside. Drift managed to land smoothly. The room was dark and looked deserted. Drift slid towards one of the hallways that had an intersection. He saw a group of Decepticons at the intersection and prepared to draw his sword. And suddenly, boom! An explosion occurred right where the group of Decepticons were. It was the Wreckers, a special task force, generally composed of the best and the toughest die-hard fighters around. Its ranks include a veritable who's who of the obscure, mechs you've never heard much about, mostly because the Wreckers are often called in a fight when the odds of success are slim. There were Cup, Springer, Roadbuster, Perceptor, and Twin Twist. Cup said, "Clean him up. We've got work to do." Drift witnessed the whole incident and responded, "So much for quiet." A Decepticon soldier ran and reported the incident to his superior, Commander Turmoil. "Commander, the ship has been breached." A shocked Turmoil asked who dared to infiltrate his ship. Turmoil asked, "Did our sensors detect them?" To which the soldier replied, "Not exactly. The group they just blew a hole in the side of the ship." Turmoil, who heard the news, was furious and smashed the objects around him, making the soldier scared. Without knowing more information about the infiltration, Turmoil immediately knew the mastermind behind it. Yes, Cup. Cup and his Wreckers and Drift had started the party first. They started to finish off the Decepticons who were there. Cup said to Springer, "He's not an Autobot. That's for sure." Springer replied, "Well, he's not a Decepticon either. The sword he's carrying behind his back looks familiar to you." Cup immediately called Drift to confirm his suspicions. "What are you doing here?" Drift replied, "Well, I was trying to sneak in." Cup replied, "Yeah, we don't do subtle." Perceptor approached them and began to observe Drift closely. He said, "This is extraordinary. You've been upgraded recently, reconfigured, but in a manner I haven't seen used in centuries. Yet the technology is completely comparable with whose work is this?" Drift was amazed by Perceptor's observation just by looking at him closely. Cup interrupted their conversation. "We need to move soon. New guy, you're with us. We need to talk after this is all over. Stay back." And Cup hadn't finished his sentence before Drift interrupted. "Actually, it would be better if I led." No offense, but I'm here for the same reason as you, and I can lead you straight to them. Cup seemed interested in the proposal. He let Drift lead the way to lead him and the Wreckers to the Decepticons. Perceptor tried to secure and lock the room they were in. He said, "They're here. It appears they're attempting to break through my locks." While on the other side of the door, Turmoil and his troops were ready to break in. Perceptor tried to add layers of security that he had done so that the Decepticons would find it even harder to get in, but he found something odd. That's odd. Now they've stopped. I'm going to add several more blocks to the ones I already planted within the system. I can't imagine they'll be able to break through anytime soon. And boom! Perceptor was suddenly shot right in the chest. Apparently, Turmoil and his troops managed to force their way in and made all of Perceptor's efforts in vain. Turmoil said, "Shoot your mouth off. Give your position away. Amateurs." A gunfight was unavoidable. Wreckers and Turmoil troops traded blow after blow. Drift, who used a sword and no firearm, ran stabbing into the area of Turmoil troops. Drift skillfully avoided the shots from the Decepticons. And at this moment, Drift said, "I'm here to save lives. If there's the slightest change, that's what I'll do." But right in front of him stood Turmoil. He looked really big, like a barrier wall. Turmoil said, "I recognize your voice." Realizing the small chance of facing Turmoil one-on-one, Drift decided to retreat back to the area where the Wreckers were, but suddenly Turmoil shouted a word that made Drift surprised and turned back. "Deadlock," said Turmoil. Turmoil continued his words, "Decepticon traitor," as he pointed at Drift. He aimed his cannon and started to prepare to shoot. Bam! Turmoil's shot hit the Wreckers right in the direction and managed to make a hole in the wall of the ship, making Cup and Drift fall to a lower level. "So, you're a Decepticon," Cup said. "No," Drift replied. "Deadlock." Cup added that he was still trying to dig up facts about Drift. Drift replied, "I don't have by that name anymore." Cup responded, "That's helpful, considering Deadlock happened to have slaughtered quite a few Autobots. Long time ago, so long ago it's become muddled as to the outcome. There was a third faction. Well, more of a faction against factions. A group formed on Cybertron, a big one, a group that refused to have any part of the Great War. Refused to take sides up and left. No one's sure what happened to them. Some think they died, some think they went off and hid. Most are so busy with the killing they don't even care. A big old mystery. Although I'm thinking by the look of that sword, different." Cup tried to find out information about the swords brought by Drift. "Found them, didn't you?" as Cup asked. And Drift answered firmly, "Yes." Cup asked again, "That meeting have anything to do with you leaving the cons?" And Drift replied, "Everything." Cup asked, "All that killing and you're looking for a second change?" Drift replied, "I already received it. I'm looking to make a difference, to use the change I was given." Cup digested the answer given by Drift, understanding the situation of that factionless Transformers. He said, "I know all about second change. That bot you try to save in there named Perceptor, he wouldn't normally be along, not the type. He was keeping an eye out for me. Designed this new body, fixed it, so I was my old self again. Better even." Cup explained that Drift didn't owe anything to Perceptor. Drift was just trying to save him. Drift tried to give a suggestion. He said, "I know I'm no Autobot. I'm not sure what I am, but how would you feel about bringing this whole place down?" And Cup seemed interested in the suggestion given by Drift. Drift's plan was to force the ship to reach orbit, and at the same time it would overload and destroy itself. The plan made Cup questioning why Drift knew so much about the ship, to which Drift responded, "I served under Turmoil, second in command." Cup then said, "The others have made it out. Springer's bringing our ship around. We jump from a height, he can scoop us up." But in the middle of the planning, Turmoil managed to find them and was in a very angry state. Drift's instinct immediately ordered Cup to leave first and let him face Turmoil's anger alone. But without further ado, Turmoil shot them right on target, causing Cup to be thrown out of the ship. He said, "We thought you dead, Deadlock. I thought I'd been robbed of this pleasure." Drift responded and pulled out his two swords. "Deadlock is dead. My name is Drift." As Drift charged forward to Turmoil, Turmoil tried to shake Drift's mentality by saying, "You kill for us. Now you kill for them? You're pathetic." Drift managed to slash Turmoil's left shoulder, making the ship's commander groan in pain. Not stopping there, Drift continued his attack, this time by stabbing both of his swords into both of Turmoil's shoulders, successfully causing quite severe damage. Drift said, "We're going about this the wrong way. All of us." After countless centuries of fighting, the Autobots are a step away from what we were when all this started. And us, the Decepticons, have become something worse than any of us could have imagined. Turmoil responded to all of Drift's opinions with, "They'll never accept you. You're nothing but a broken outcast." He then challenged Drift, "Do it. Kill me, and run. Prove you're nothing more than what you were when you left. It's what you came here to do." However, Drift had other intentions. He ran away from Turmoil through fire and explosions from various sides of the ship, transformed into his alternate mode, and headed somewhere. When he arrived, he brought the body of Perceptor, who had been damaged and unconscious. The timing was perfect. Drift and Perceptor jumped out of the ship, and not long after that the ship exploded successfully according to Drift's plan. On the wrecker's ship, Springer reported to Cup. He said, "I've made contact with the Trine. We'll be docking shortly." They've been informed. All 6 Autobots retrieved and accounted for. But Cup responded, 7, which made Springer wonder. Apparently the 7th Autobot in question was Drift. Cup offered him directly, "I'm forming a new unit. I want you on it. What do you say?" Willing to wear the badge, Drift very confidently and without hesitation answered, "Of course." Springer doubts the sudden decision of Cup, but Cup has a more convincing argument. He said, "He proved himself down there. You saw it. There's more to fighting this war than just blowing off heads. Besides, you of all people should know everyone deserves a second change." And that's how Drift began to join the Autobots and Wreckers. I think this is one of the best Spotlight series issues. It's not just about the robot battle between 2 camps, but about a second chance for everyone. That there is nothing that will not change in life. Like Drift, who realized the meaning of his life's purpose and the purpose of his existence, made him do whatever it takes to achieve his new goals. To find a new meaning in life and a new role in this war that can help many people. Thank you for watching today's video. Look forward to the Spotlight issue of other characters in the next video. See you next time.